And you know what probably bothers Senator Lindsey Graham most is that Mr. Vilsack does not believe that. So he knows better. Senator Lindsey Graham has worked on immigration for the past 20-plus years and knows when he's been led astray. Senator, how frustrated were you today?
Very. Number one, he's a fine man, but he's making stuff up about the pull factors. Here's what I was trying to tell him. If you talk to the Border Patrol agents in charge of trying to police our border, they're under siege. They're American patriots. Right after the election, they told the Biden administration, if you eliminate the Remain in Mexico policy and go back to catch and release when it comes to asylum claims, we'll be overrun. If you start allowing unaccompanied minors the ability to stay in the country, not send them where they came from, there'll be more of them. And everything that they said has come true. And here's what the Secretary of Agriculture, either he doesn't understand it. Well, number one, I said, when's the last time you talked to the Border Patrol? He said 10 years ago. So he's telling me about the border. I've been there more times than I can count. I've been working on illegal immigration to try to fix it for 15 years. So you have a cabinet secretary telling me stuff about pull factors, and he hadn't talked to the Border Patrol in 10 years. So I'm tired of this crap. So what's happened here, Brian, is that the Biden administration was put on notice right after the election that if you change Trump policies, if you stop building the wall, you go back to catch and release, allow people to come in and make an asylum claim, release them into the interior of the United States, will be overwhelmed and overrun. And they were right, and nobody in the Biden administration is adjusting. They're denying the truth.
Secretary Vilsack has an important objective. He wants more workers for farms. Fine. And guess what? That's fine. There's a thing called work visas. There's things that can be negotiated. Sure. You know what can't be negotiated? 188,000 illegals last month, a 21-year high. You know what also can't be negotiated? Logic. Because Joe Biden knows better. In 2006, he voted to build the wall. You know what Jay Johnson did in 2008 when he worked for President Obama? He tried to secure the border. This is the first administration that's ignoring an ongoing catastrophe.
Well, when I ask him, you're dead right. And President Trump's statement, I hope you look at it and can talk about it tonight, is dead on. If you don't believe that giving legal status to people who've been here illegally for years without first securing the border will entice more people to come, you're crazy. We've always done border security first. I've been involved in every immigration reform proposal in the last 15 years. The Democratic Party agreed with me and other Republicans to spend $40 billion to secure the border in 2013. Now I can't get them to admit that the pull factors they created are causing the flow of illegal immigration. There's nothing changed in the Triangle countries. They're no worse, they're no better. What's changed is we changed our policies.
Absolutely. So there's a big thing here, and it all is wrapped in infrastructure. You guys are going to decide whether you're going to move forward on infrastructure, the bipartisan bill, as early as Monday. Today, they wanted you to have a vote. The problem was there was nothing to vote on. You hadn't written anything down yet. So they'll have it Monday. But what they're going to do is take the million people who have come over the last 6 months and try to wrap it into the $3.5 trillion and say it's called immigration infrastructure. If a parliamentarian won't stop it, that could actually work for them.
Well, here's what you need to understand. They're willing to do that. They're willing to take mail-in voting and put it in the reconciliation package to have their dream of mail-in voting as a national standard, which will be terrible for elections and terrible for conservatism. But the idea of giving amnesty in an infrastructure package would lead to a run on the border like you've never seen. It will double or triple the number of people trying to get into the country. The day you legalize one person, Brian, without first securing your border, it spreads throughout the world, and they will come by the millions, not by the hundreds of thousands. And if you don't believe me, ask the border security people who are in charge. I challenged Dick Durbin today to have a hearing on the status of the border. Bring the professionals before the Congress, and let's ask them what has happened in the last 6 months. And if we provided legal status, what would happen in the next 6 months? They won't let me ask those questions because they don't want to hear the answers.
They can't secure the border, or they choose not to. Real quick, talking about President Trump, he says you guys are being played by going for the bipartisan infrastructure deal, knowing everything you negotiated out is going to be jammed down your throat weeks later. Are you being played?
No, I don't think so. He had a $1.5 trillion infrastructure package. This is $1 trillion. It's roads, bridges, and ports. Count me in for a facelift for America when it comes to roads, bridges, and ports. Count me out for a $3.5 trillion tax and spend liberal wish list. I know the difference. I think it'd be good for the country to do something together on roads and bridges. I think this idea of a $3.5 to $5 trillion infrastructure package to grow the government wrapped around with amnesty is a disaster for our nation. It will lead to rampant inflation and an invasion of illegal immigrants. An invasion of illegal immigrants.
But you're almost helpless to stop it. Exit question. How many Republicans would vote for this if the framework is written up the way you think it is and you talked about? How many will vote for it if there's a vote next week?
Probably about half. I think half the Republican Party understands we need to do something on infrastructure paid for. Not one Republican will vote for the $3.5 trillion infrastructure package with amnesty and mail-in ballots. Not one of us. Susan Collins, not one, because it'll be a disaster for the country. The people in charge of your government right now are crazy.
Yeah, and they're your colleagues. Thanks, and they know better. Senator Lindsey Graham, thanks so much.